This is the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 800 digital charcoal griddle, grill, and smoker combo, black. I've cooked on it for months, through quick weeknight burgers, long pork shoulder smokes, steak sears, and full-on breakfast runs with the griddle. From my experience, it blends charcoal flavor with the kind of push-button control I used to only expect from pellet grills, but it comes with quirks you should know about before you buy. Key features you'll notice right away: a tall gravity-fed hopper that holds a big load of briquettes or lump, a digital fan that feeds air to the fire so temps hold steady, reversible cast iron grates, and a full-size cold-rolled steel griddle insert that swaps in when you want a flat top. It's got about 800 square inches of total cooking area, safety switches on the lids, an ash door, and a pair of metal slides that shut off airflow to save leftover charcoal. The controller supports Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and the whole unit is a hefty 204 pounds with a footprint of 30.5 by 55.1 by 50.9 inches. Power is corded electric for the controller and fan. Heat comes from charcoal. Assembly took me a couple of hours with a socket set and patience. The parts lined up better than I expected for a big box grill. The pre-seasoning step mattered more than I thought. I did a staged burn at higher temps to cure the interior, and it helped keep the smell of factory oils off my first cook. If you're new to charcoal, pre-seasoning is just running the grill hot while empty to bake on a thin protective layer and clean it up inside. Startup is where this thing shines. I slide out the 2 shutoff plates, drop in a single starter on the charcoal grate in the hopper, light it, close the doors, set a temperature on the controller, and the fan takes it from there. Mine hits 225 degrees Fahrenheit in around 8 minutes and pushes up near 700 degrees Fahrenheit in roughly 14, which tracks with Masterbuilt's claim. In my opinion, the real win is how tight it holds a set point once it settles. I've seen it hover within a few degrees for hours, smoking ribs at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not common with traditional charcoal unless you're babysitting vents. Flavor is the reason I keep using it. I mix in a couple of wood chunks with the charcoal, and the smoke is richer than what I typically get on a pellet unit. Brisket and pork butt pick up a solid bark and a clean smoke ring. When I want steak, I move the cast iron closer to the heat manifold, crank it to max, and it puts a serious crust on ribeyes in minutes. It's perfect for steakhouse-style sears and smash burgers. The griddle insert is not a gimmick. It heats evenly, and I've made pancakes, bacon, eggs, fajitas, and fried rice without hot spots. Swapping between the grates and griddle is simple, and having both options in one cooker has replaced my old propane griddle. Day-to-day living with it has taught me a few habits. I always use a cover because the body panels are relatively thin-gauge steel and can rust if you leave it exposed. I do a quick scrape and a high-heat burn-off after fatty cooks, and I run drip pans during big pork and chicken cooks because grease can pool on the manifold. The one real scare I had was a flare-up after a long burger session where I skipped pans. Not fun, but preventable with cleaner internals and a foil pan under the grates. If you're new to this style, a drip pan is just a simple tray to catch fat, so it doesn't hit hot metal and ignite. The shutdown sliders are underrated. When I finish, I power off, slide both plates into block airflow, and the fire dies out. Whatever charcoal is left is waiting the next time, which saves money and time. Fuel life is decent, but not frugal. On a 10-hour smoke, I can chew through most of a standard bag of briquettes. In my opinion, that's a trade-off for the steady airflow and fast heat up. Lump burns hotter and faster, briquettes are steadier. I switch depending on what I'm cooking. Let's talk reliability, because that's where the smiles can fade. The app experience is hit or miss. I've had clean cooks where the Wi-Fi connection stayed stable, and I tweaked temps for my kitchen, and I've had other days where the app froze until I unplugged and replugged the controller. Masterbuilt's quirk, where you need to start the cook from the app to make changes in the app, isn't intuitive. I keep Bluetooth on as a fallback, and I try to update firmware when prompted. It helps, but it's not bulletproof. I've also learned to baby the door switches. They cut the fan when you open the lids, which is a good safety feature, but they can be finicky in grease and heat. One of mine got flaky and I had to clean and reseat it. The power cord connection feels delicate, so I keep tension off it and avoid yanking the plug from the controller side. I haven't lost a controller, but I know people who have, and warranty turnaround is something to factor in if you're hard on gear. If you want to tinker, there's a growing accessory scene with heavier internal parts, upgraded firebox plates, and different manifold covers. I haven't gone all in on mods, but I can see why folks do if they cook several times a week. From my experience, the build quality is a mix. The cast iron grates and griddle are solid. The frame and panels are acceptable for the price, but they're not premium. Keep it covered, clean it regularly, and you'll be fine. Neglect it and you'll see rust sooner than you expect, especially inside the hopper where the heat lives. The wheels are handy for moving it on a patio, but given the 204-pound weight, plan a home for it and don't drag it over gravel. Who is this for? It's perfect for someone who loves charcoal flavor, but doesn't want to fuss with vents and chimneys every time. If you're intrigued by pellet grill convenience but want deeper smoke from real charcoal and wood chunks, this scratches that itch. If you expect flawless apps, bomb-proof electronics, and zero maintenance, you might get frustrated. I'd recommend this for backyard cooks who aren't afraid to do a little cleaning, keep a cover on their grill, and can live with the occasional app hiccup. If that sounds like you, the cooking results will make you grin. Key features that make me keep it around are the quick heat up, exact temperature control from the digital fan, the versatile griddle insert, and the ability to save fuel with those shutdown slides. In my opinion, the biggest weak spots are the app reliability, the fragile feel of a couple of components, and the need to manage grease carefully. None of those are deal breakers for me because the food coming off this thing has been consistently excellent. If you're comparing options, pellet units still have an edge on set-it-and-forget-it reliability and cleaner internals, but they often produce a milder smoke. The Gravity Series 800 flips that. Fuller charcoal flavor and punchier sear power, with convenience that's close to pellet gear but not as polished on the software side. Masterbuilt has newer, beefed-up versions in the lineup, but this MB204221 remains a strong value if you understand its personality. In conclusion, I'm happy I bought it. I reach for it when I want real charcoal flavor without spending my day chasing vents, and I lean on the griddle more than I expected. It's not perfect, but it's earned a spot in my outdoor cooking routine. If you can handle some maintenance, keep it covered, and be patient with the app, the Gravity Series 800 will reward you with smoky ribs, crusty steaks, and buttery pancakes off the same cooker. If this video helped, hit subscribe and drop your questions or your own tips in the comments. Thank you for watching.